The goaltender on the all-tournament team, Ben Dexheimer. Boston Buckberger, the defenseman from Wisconsin and Denver. Zelenoff from Wisconsin, Lorenz from Denver, and Chizowski from Denver were the three forwards. Denver's 2 shots on goal in the first period that tied for the fewest ever in a regulation period in the national championship game. Those records are on page 26 of the record book. There are a number of them, so they tied for the fewest ever in a period. NCHC now has won 8 of the last 10 national championships. They're on a pretty good roll. We'll use the microphones again as we have throughout for your questions. And please identify your name and affiliation and who your question is directed to each time for people translating this. We'll start with the questions for Coach Hastings, or we'll ask for Mike Hastings to give us an opening comment when he comes, and then take your questions from the players, then let them go and finish up with Coach Hastings. Certainly been a great Frozen Four. I've had the chance to do an awful lot of these, and this one has been terrific. Las Vegas events, the MGM, our friends here at T-Mobile Arena, our host, University of North Dakota, host school, and all of their staff, and of course the city of Las Vegas. It really has been a terrific event, and puts a lot of pressure on the committee to come back here in a hurry, I think. I don't know how you guys would like to vote. Yeah? All right. Was everybody well behaved? No. Okay. Just checking. I guess you're not supposed to be, Paul, right? Wisconsin group is on the way, so they'll be here just shortly. All right, we welcome the Wisconsin Badgers, and we'll start just with some opening thoughts from Coach Hastings. Mike?
Well, first, I'd like to say congratulations to Denver. I'd find a way to get it done. David and his group does a really good job. Secondly, I'd like to say thank you to Las Vegas for hosting us. Not the result we want, but the experience other than that result has been nothing but fantastic. And so that experience for our athletes, for our staff, and hopefully for our fans is something that they'll remember.
Okay. Questions for the players. We will start with Todd.
Todd Molesky with the Wisconsin State Journal. Ben, I wonder if you can put into words the feeling at this point, knowing you're that close.
I'm just a little shocked right now. I'm definitely going to settle in here in the next few days, but I couldn't be prouder of this team from the ups and downs throughout the year, and I just love every one of those guys in that room.
Okay, further questions for the players right here in front. Peter?
Mark Stewart, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Gavin, obviously you and your teammates created a lot of opportunities, a lot of shots on goal. What was maybe the challenge of getting that second goal across the line?
I think you got to give a lot of credit to the other team. They defend really well. They block a lot of shots. Their goalie was outstanding, his whole season really. So, I know it wasn't for a lack of effort on our end, but I think maybe just give credit to the other team.
Okay, Paul.
Paul Shaheen, NHL Network Radio. Gavin, what made the third different than the first two periods?
It's kind of hard to say in the moment. They made two good plays to get shots through for goals, and like I said, we were throwing everything we had at the net, but just couldn't find a way to get one through.
You feel it played as well in the third as in the first two?
It's hard to tell in the moment.
Okay, Todd.
Joe, I wonder if you can. The second goal that they scored looked like the guy got behind you that ended up tipping it. Was that anything? Would you do that any differently, having had another chance at it? I guess.
I had body position on him. I had him behind me. As a defenseman, you try to front, and that's what I did, and you got to stick on it.
Okay, anything else for the players? Mark, in here for Peter, right up here.
Obviously, tough time for you guys, but I guess I'm curious, especially for Gavin and Joe. Just you guys have kind of talked about failing sometime to learn to succeed. And I guess I'm wondering. I know it's fresh, but what is there a lesson from today that you take moving forward with this with this team and this program?
Joe.
Proud of our seniors and what they've done for this program. It wasn't easy. I'm just so thankful to be a Badger and share this experience with all 26 guys and staff and alumni and everyone involved in the whole institution, and that's all I have to say.
Gavin?
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. Like Joe said, we're really proud of all the guys in the room and every member of the Wisconsin Badgers organization. So, it sucks in the moment, but I know our guys will carry this into next year, and this one's hard to forget. But at the end of the day, just proud of the team.
Okay. Clara.
Clara Bodette, Big Ten Network. Ben, Coach Hastings yesterday talked about recognizing the foundation and leaving the university, better than you find it. The Frozen Four seemed very far away from you guys your freshman year. You made the decision to stay through a coaching change. What does it mean just having been a part of that journey and bringing the team to even get to compete at this point?
It's been amazing. I couldn't have asked for a better 4 years. I don't think there's a better place to do it at. From where this program was my freshman year and to where we are now, I couldn't be more proud to wear the W. I think we've kind of set the standard for Wisconsin now, and I couldn't be more proud to leave a place in the hands of the guys that are coming back next year and the coaching staff that will keep this program afloat.
Okay, Todd.
Ben, did you think that shot hit the crossbar? Did you think that went in? Because it kind of looked like there was a brief moment there.
Yeah, I thought it definitely had a chance to go in, but there's a little bit of traffic in front, and it all happened so fast. But it unfortunately did not.
Okay. Anything else for the players? We good? Okay. Guys, thanks very much. Appreciate it. All right. Questions for Coach Hastings? Okay, Chris.
Chris Orchios, College Hockey Online. What did you see on when Daniel lost a stick? It looked like it just slid out of his hands.
I didn't see it exit his hand, so I'm not dodging your question. I just didn't see it.
Okay. Paul.
Paul Shaheen, NHL Network Radio. Mike, same as I asked the players. What happened in the third? Did you keep playing the same way? Denver just got a couple of good opportunities. How was it different from your perspective in any way, shape, or form, if at all?
Well, it would have been great to hold them to 9 total shots. But when you're playing a team that's as accomplished as they are, you know they're going to make a push. But if you're asking me if we just laid down, no, I thought we played our tails off. So you knew they were going to make a little bit of a push, and they did. But I thought, again, we had some opportunities. We just didn't capitalize. We needed to, in my opinion, to get it to 2. And we just couldn't do that.
Okay, further questions, Mark?
Mike, similar to what I asked the players, what's kind of, I know it's fresh, but is there a lesson that you hope your guys take forward, from a day and from a game like this?
There'll be a time for that. Sure. The ones that leave the scars are the ones you remember the most. But right now, that's really not the time. So, they put a kick at the can, and I thought effort, attitude, discipline, I thought was good. We couldn't find a way to get it to 2, but I don't think that's really the lesson. Needs to be rewound for those guys tonight. This group's been phenomenal to coach. You've been able to be around them a little bit. I know you have back in Madison, and they're a special group. So life's hard sometimes. And I'm not diminishing anything other than I thought they did what they could do tonight. And we were rewarded for it. Up until this point, we had been.
Todd?
Mike, they got credited, I think, with 31 blocks. A lot of them for their top 4D had a lot of them. Is there anything you'd like to see your guys do anything differently to try and elude some of those, or is that just the effort in a championship game coming through on their side?
Yeah, I haven't broken it all down. I've got 31 for them. And again, we possessed the puck. I thought we had some good looks. Obviously we only had one, so yeah, if I'd asked for something, it'd be one to get by them. And their commitment level, just like our commitment level, is at an all-time high when you get to this moment.
Okay, are we good? You guys got what you need? All right. Coach Hastings,
Thank you
very much. Thank you. Thanks, Hasty. Is he? Rory's trailing now? Oh, wow. He did. Yeah. You can come up closer if you need to read it, Strandy. I see you squinting back there. Thank you guys all for your great coverage. A special shout out to our good friend Chris Lurch covering his 27th and final Frozen Four. He says he's retiring. Thanks, Chris. That's a lot of words. We did not have a chance to go back and look up. I can never remember a national champion getting outshot 2-1 in both games. Obviously, goalie nation came through big time, but 52-26 and 30-15. I don't. We'll go back and look it up at some point, but a bit unusual. Denver is still on the ice. They are. Yep. I should know that. Actually, I know them both, and I better not. I better not guess as to where they're from. Yeah, I can Google it quick too. Yeah, they were. Nick was at the Olympics, I think, if I recall. Yeah, Connecticut. Meridian, Connecticut.
Was Hips the outstanding player?
He was, yep. Hicks. Goalie for yeah. Johnny Hicks, yeah. Yeah, the all-tournament team, if some of you came in after, I read this, goaltender Johnny Hicks from Denver, also the most outstanding player of the Frozen Four, defenseman Ben Dexheimer from Wisconsin, Boston Buckberger from Denver, and the forwards were Vasily Zelenov from Wisconsin, Rieger Lorenz from Denver, Kyle Chakowski from Denver. These two head coaches met in the national championship game, we might remember, in 2022 when Mike Hastings was at Minnesota State and played Denver in the national championship game. And ironically, Minnesota State led 1-0 after 2 periods and wound up losing 5-1. Stone.
This is the best season of a while. Marvin's got a mark in there. So they're 3-2-1 and
Well, they're not as bad as others in the sea last
Who's goal? Yes. I guess the court's had enough of it.
You will never see Aiden Hill again. You'll see Jesse before you see Aiden Hill again.
Ready to go, Jesse?
Yes, sir.
I'm always waiting for the call. Are you the emergency goal? The emergency. A lot of people back here.
You're the triple E bud.
I think they put Sean Murphy. What's that? I think they put Sean Murphy.
I wonder what's going to happen with that after the season. How much maybe keep the professor around.
Bless you.
What the other guys do. I don't know who's going to bring in. No, Martin's got 56 assists.
He's a great passer. Oh, look, some play by Stone. That's what I'm saying.
The direct one, we got one.
Two players redirected by Ripley. And Martin had secondary system that goal.
I saw Hurley got the horses.
Oh, okay.
See what you
All right, Denver is now off the ice, so it should be. It's a good question. We'll have to ask them, yeah. My guess generally is. Yeah, really.
I don't think eating is their priority tonight.
Yeah. I'll be curious. Usually, coaches like to get people back home, so they don't have to worry about potential. Yeah. Nope. No. I don't know. I mean, a lot of times, yes. But I'm not sure. Denver's close. Yeah.
That may be the bumpiest fight I've ever been on. I haven't had too many problems in our group. The Denver is bad.
Who's the young kid in the back there? What's your name? Chase? Chase, why don't you come up for a minute? Come on, Chase. I mean, yeah, you can ask. We can warm up the media. You can take a couple quick questions if you wouldn't mind. Yeah. Did you meet Marvin? Did you meet Marvin? Yeah. You met Marvin. All right, Chase. Just sit right next to Marvin. You can fill in for Coach Carl. Sit right over there. All right. All right, Chase. Yep. Very good. Chase, who? First question for Chase. Paul?
Who does your hair?
Oh, who does your hair, Chase? You do it in the morning. How do you do it?
Yeah.
How was that? I didn't see it. Could you demonstrate it for us?
Quick shower in one of these.
One of those. Okay, nice.
You use Brill Cream or Dippity Doo?
Brill Cream or Dippity Doo? Do you know what those are?
No.
Okay. Chase, show us what your reaction was when the Pioneers took the lead. Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you, like, were you silent just like that?
No.
So give us the whole thing, recreate it, like. I mean, you might have to stand up too. If that's what you did, I don't know what you did. Did you go, yeah?
Yeah.
You did? Let's see it.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Chase, what did you say to the team after the second period? What did you say to the team after only had 5 shots on goal?
I told them to score.
No.
It's like Daryl Plandowski.
Yeah, that's good advice, Coach Chase. Yeah. Oh.
Serious journalistic part. What do you think Chase? I'm John from USCHL. What do you think the keys to victory for Denver were tonight?
Getting rebounds.
Oh, slow down. I gotta write all this down. That first goal was definitely.
Anything else, Chase?
Just rebounds and shots.
All right, that's good.
Okay, we're done.
Chase, how are you connected to the team?
Great advice. And
Who do you know on the who was your who
wait,
do you,
what?
who do you know? Like, what's your last name?
Vincent?
Vincent?
Yeah.
So are you a fan or?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You got brothers, sisters, relation on the team?
No.
No. Okay. You're just here supporting the Pioneers. You live in Denver?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I think Chase has done pretty good. He's got a future in this, huh? Thanks, Chase. Chase, if you want to chime in and ask a question when they get here, too, just raise your hand. We'll call on you. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Did they? Who? All right, the players are on their way. So, Chase, you want to come up here and the players will come right here. You want to come up here and congratulate them as they come out? You can if you want. They're coming. Hey, say hi to Chase. Oh. Yeah, say hi to Chase. Big fan. Right there. Yeah. 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 Look at that. Congrats, guys.
Thank you.
Wow. Way to go.
Hey, appreciate it.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Congrats.
Thank you so much.
Good, boys. All right, look at this dapper group. Yes, we can get started. Right here, Peter.
Mark Anderson, AP. For any of the players, is there just a comfort level you guys have when you're being outshot like that, knowing that, especially you've got Hicks back there, that you guys are not out of it?
Ken?
Yeah, I mean, as you guys know, Johnny Hicks is unbelievable. He's undefeated. Couldn't have done any of this without him. Tonight, our group stuck with it. They believed in each other, and Hickey was there for us every step of the way. He kept us in it and just waited for us to score, and eventually we did.
Rieger, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I just think we're battle tested. Our conference does a great job with that. Obviously, the NCHC Frozen Faceoff, we went through lots of overtime, close games like that. So we were comfortable in that, even though we weren't happy with our first 40. We stuck with it and obviously came out victorious there.
Samo?
Yeah, the group in the locker room. Even it was tough the first two periods. I feel like every single person bought in and knew that what we are capable to do. We've been preparing for this whole year. There's no better feeling than this. I'm so grateful. These guys, all those guys in that locker room knew what we can do from the very first day. Executed everything so well for the season, so can't be more grateful.
Kiitos.
Kiitos.
Kiitos, my favorite Finnish word. That means thank you, if you don't know. John, in the back. Congrats, CC.
Thank you, John Doyle, USCHO.com. Congratulations, guys. Rieger, your goal, it came off a rebound, and it was interesting because there were so many just powerful shots from you guys. Yet the one that went in, you just kind of knocked it in right place, right time. So can you bring us through that, please? What did you see on that play?
Yeah, like I touched on earlier, our first 40 definitely wasn't even close to good enough. So we needed a big spark there. I'm glad that I could give the guys that little bump. DC's been on me all 4 years I've been here, getting in front of the net, using my body. So I guess I finally listened to him. I got in front of the net there and obviously banged it home.
All right, can we just pause quick so you can get what you need as an opening comment from Coach Carl on the game, then we'll get back to the players.
Okay. Thanks, Fish. Unbelievable game. Certainly we didn't break, and Johnny kept us within striking range, and it's a 60-minute game for a reason. And we'd obviously like to acknowledge Mike Hastings and Wisconsin and the season they had. I mean, they're very similar to us. We're going through some real tough times in January and, got hot at the right time and went on an unbelievable run. I'd probably say it's probably the hardest team we've played against all year. Just how they were on it, their forecheck, made it real challenging to be able to break pucks out. We saw it against North Dakota as well, and it was an excellent team on their end. We found a way again. Johnny kept us within range, as we have found a way in other games, and these guys, we saved our best period for last, and we found a way to make one more play.
All right, Paul. This Paul right here. This Paul and then that Paul. Sorry.
Shane, NHL Network Radio. Kent, your teammate just alluded to it. Was it a really bad first 40 minutes? And if so, what happened in the third? Just better execution? What made the difference, or what did you do differently, if you did anything differently?
Yeah, it's like Rieger says, the belief in this group. Obviously, every single guy in that room is capable of doing great things, and we weren't satisfied with the first 40, but we stuck with it. We believed in each other, and there's never a doubt that someone was going to go out there and make a play, and in the third period, the boys were able to do that.
No adjustment, just more intensity?
More intensity, sticking with it.
Okay. Paul, back there.
Paul Hornstein, College Hockey West. You guys, when you were underclassmen, so to speak, were with a bunch of players that had won 2 years before you guys won your first national championship. Was there anything that you guys were able, especially in the last 36 hours, to pass on to your teammates, having gone through this before, even though they hadn't?
Rieger.
Yeah, I think DC talks about it a lot. It's harder to win as an upperclassman, as an older guy, and as a leader. So I think he challenged us in the middle of January. There's some dark times in the middle of our season, and I think the leadership group and then the young guys responded really well to that. But yeah, it's just perseverance. I think it's a proven formula to win at this level. I just think we finally bought into what Coach was saying, and obviously it served us very well.
Samu, anything to add there?
Well, I can't respond as well as they did because they were here winning last time. Yeah, everybody probably knows I had a little bit different story. coming here after 2 years transferring, there was one expectation that we were talking a lot coming in this program. It's winning the national championships, because that's everything that this program is all about. And I'm sure it's not going to be a last one in this dynasty. I'm sure that these younger guys who came in, they've been bought into this very well. And obviously, they were huge pieces of our team this season. And I'm so excited to see those guys playing again next year and doing it again.
Ken?
Yeah, it's great to have the experience in the room. Like we've said before, it's the reason you come to Denver. Sam and Pole Camp, they came to Denver for a reason, that was to win this game. So with that being the goal day one, and the belief and trust in each other, it feels so good to get it done.
Okay, Ryan.
Ryan Kennedy with the Hockey News. For Samu, since you have played for another program, what is it about the Denver culture that seems to always come through and win these national championships more time than not recently?
I think it's just that the standard we have in every single day on the practices and how we treat each other, how people treat us in Denver. It's a very special place to be, and I feel like every single person who steps in that locker room, they know what it's all about, and that's winning, and it's all about team first mentality. We don't have individuals in this team, and if we do, that's a short run for those guys. And I feel like our whole team has bought into that really well whole year, and that's credit for the older guys who played here last decades and last few years when when Denver's been winning championships. And I feel like that's a legacy that we try to represent for the younger kids as well in our team. And like I said earlier, I'm super happy to see those guys doing it again. And every single guy who's coming in this program got to have the same mentality. It's not easy here, but that's what we want. No one wants it easy here, and when we do it together, these moments are for.
Beautiful. In the front tier.
Monty Lingo, Vegas Sports Today. Question for either of the players. I mean, there's probably no better city to win the championship in, so I'm just wondering, what has this Vegas experience been like for you guys these past couple of days, playing in a packed T-Mobile arena and possibly celebrating in the city tonight?
Ken?
Yeah, I mean, T-Mobile, it was an incredible atmosphere, both Thursday night and tonight. Denver fans were loud. Have all the parents in the building. It's an easy city to get fans to come to. So it was such a fun game, and to be able to see our families after the game on the ice, I don't think there could have been a better spot for it. And obviously we'll go back to the hotel and enjoy our night from there.
Rieger, what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, what is it? It's 6:18. I think DC said we got a 1:30 flight back home, so that's a lot of runway for our guys, and we'll
they could get us out.
Yeah. So we'll enjoy our night. I've never been to Vegas, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the city has to offer.
As you should. Sama, what do you got for thoughts down there on the evening? Are they celebrating in Helsinki right now too? Probably.
Yeah, I actually called my parents right after, on the ice, and it's probably a nerve-wracking game for them, being up at 4 a.m. watching it. But it's just so. I'm glad that we had a lot of parents here, a lot of families supporting us, and I hope that they get to enjoy this win with us tonight and tomorrow morning and next week and week after.
We have a long celebration planned, as it should be. What else do we have for the players? Yeah, Matt?
Matt Wellens, the Duluth News Tribune. For the players, you guys 31 block shots tonight, and the NCHC Offensive Defenseman of the Year, Eric Polkamp, led the way with 5. tell me about his commitment to defense when you guys need it most, and just the entire team's commitment to blocking shots out there tonight.
Kent?
Yeah, obviously you guys know Eric's an unbelievable player, and that's what it takes at this time of year. It's full commitment, and 5 blocks is no easy task. And he's been banged up, pretty much the entire back half of the season, and just his will, determination. He didn't quit, and obviously he's a leader for our team, even though he doesn't wear a letter. But he's an inspiration, and when he's doing that stuff, it reflects on the other guys, and it was a huge, huge thing for our team.
31 shots. That was a lot. That's a lot, right, Rieger? Yeah. Yeah. What do you got? What about that many block shots? What does it say about tonight?
Yeah, I think it's the standard. DC preaches that once you get on campus our freshman year. No matter who you are, we've had some great players come through Denver. No matter who you are, you need to play, as a team and the way that we want to play. And like I said earlier, it's a proven formula to win, and PK is no exception for that. He's got, I think, 18 or 19 goals as a defenseman. He's one of the best players in the country. He's playing the same way as everybody else is. So that's what makes this place so special, and that's why we've got 11 national championships.
Good, Matt. Okay. John, in the back there.
Just to expound on that, for any of the players, Denver is a very prestigious athletic program, but it is one with a smaller profile than some of the bigger time schools that were in this tournament. So what does it mean to be able to sort of carry that torch for the little guy?
Who wants to take that one, boys?
I'll take that one. Yeah, I mean, it's a smaller school. Obviously, we're the top sport on campus, you might say. So, you come to Denver, they care a lot about their hockey. And it's a super special place. I know all 3 of us once we stepped on campus, we've never wanted to leave. So it's pretty emotional that, 4 years has gone by so quickly. I'm so grateful for my teammates, my brothers, DC, the coaching staff for bringing me in. They've made me into a player that I'm proud of, and also a man that I'm proud of. So I'm super grateful for everybody that's helped me along the way, and it's unbelievable. 2 national championships in 4 years is something special, and it's awesome.
Thanks, Rieger. And a record 11th national title for the Pioneers, I think, as you're all aware. Any other questions for the players? We good? Okay. Right here in front. Who's got the mic over there? You guys sleeping?
Scott Wheeler, The Athletic. Just for Samu, just your shoulder looked like you were favoring it. What happened there, and how are you feeling?
It's been bugging me a little bit since the Loveland. Nothing too crazy. I battled through it. I feel like at this point of the season, a lot of guys are playing with some sort of injuries, and it's just you want to do everything you can to help the team, and I'm glad we did.
All right, great, guys. Congratulations. Have fun tonight. Not too much, and thanks for the time. You guys can go. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
See you guys. Enjoy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll continue on with your questions for Coach Carl. Paul?
Paul Shaheen, NHL Network Radio. Coach, your players said the first 2 periods weren't good enough. What didn't make it good enough? And was it purely intensity that made the change in the third, or any other tactical change, or anything else that you think made the difference?
I mean, not a lot tactically. I think we, I'll say I don't think it was as bad as it looked. Again, we were bending, we weren't breaking. They throw and funnel a lot of stuff to the net. I think what we struggled with the most was obviously winning some wall battles and getting the puck out of our end, and then you're stuck dumping and changing because you're tired, and so it's hard to build momentum. That way, we did it a couple times, in the first and second, but just not sustained enough like we were able to in the third period. And whether it was, the urgency of the last 20 minutes or what have you, it certainly came out our best period in the last 20. And there wasn't, again, a lot tactically that we changed. It was just trying to continue to stick with what we wanted to do, knowing that, for them to play that way, it's also really hard to do that for 3 full periods and to be on it as much as they are. So, we felt like if we could just get a little bit better and continue to try and stick with it, that there might be some openings, and certainly that occurred. So, again, happy it's a 60-minute game rather than a 40-minute game, but, it just took us a while to kind of break through with what they were doing.
Okay.
Chad Andrus, Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. For Kyle and Johnny to come in as freshmen and play the way they did here, did you see anything from the start of the season, the time they came in until now, in their growth and their progress and buying into your culture and your program to perform at the championship level the way they did over these 2 games?
Yeah, I think by the time you get to this stage, nobody's really freshman anymore. Everybody's just a member of our team, and I think that happens pretty early on within our program. And again, you talked to 3 guys here previously who just really, you need great leadership to be able to impart that. We can only say so many things as coaches, and great teams, eventually they are led from within, and our group got to that point in the second half, and a big credit to the 3 of them and Boston and many of our other veteran players, but also on the young guys to buy into wanting to do something special. So with 10 freshmen on the roster, we knew they were going to have to, step up and get better throughout the year, and certainly they did that. And we're really proud of them. It took everybody to have the season that we wanted to have, and again, just really proud of the efforts of the old guys, the young guys. It all came together, at the right time over the last 2.5 months.
Paul, in the back.
Paul Hornstein, College Hockey West. Coach, as a coach, and you sit there and you see things, how hard is it for you, even though you've been through this yourself in your own way, to not say something to the players, to just fight that urge to just not say something for the sake of saying something?
Yeah, I think I understand your question. You want to project some calmness, and certainly the group, that it's not a 9-1-1 situation we're in. We're not down 3-0. It was a one-shot game. Again, it was a shot from range where we didn't have a great gap, and they got speed through. And I thought we did a better job in the second period of kind of pushing some of their shots to the outside even more. And again, I think we were just confident that it was going to be hard, as well as they played throughout the whole 60 minutes. We just felt like if we could improve our game, 5 to 10%, and theirs decreased, because again, it's hard to play to that level the whole time. Most teams don't, us included. The games that we dominate or win, we're not doing it for the full 60 minutes. There's ebbs and flows, and there's moments in the game where you have a team down or pinned, and you have to make them pay. And we were certainly able to do that with the 2 goals we scored, and we were able to survive enough to keep the game within range, when they had us pinned into our end. So that's hockey. There's a lot of momentum swings, and it's just managing that and trying to stay calm behind the bench and continue to encourage the team to do what they need to do and to stick with what we thought would give us success.
Okay, Ryan, in the back there.
Ryan Kennedy with the Hockey News. At what point in the season did you realize that Johnny Hicks was going to be your guy in net for potentially the long haul?
Probably when Quentin Miller got injured. We didn't, he had the opportunity to go in, and I've talked a lot about that moment. We were winless in 7. We just got a big win on the road at North Dakota on Saturday night. Quentin played unbelievable in the game, and then his first game back, then we come back home, play St. Cloud to blow a 2-0 lead. Really, the Saturday game is a must-win game. I think we were 13-11 at the time. And Q goes down 2 minutes into the game with a non-contact injury on the lower body. And Johnny hadn't started a game all year. He'd come in relief a little bit in the month of January through that 7-game winless stretch. So he'd had some action, but, he'd come in and 13-11. We're 12th, 13th in the pairwise. We just blown a lead at home. We hadn't been very good at home this year up until that point. And he came in, and I think it raised the guys' level of urgency because, listen, none of us, we all believe in Johnny, but none of us knew Johnny would do what Johnny did over the last 16, 17 games. So it was just kind of that spark of urgency I think that the group needed, and won the game 6-0. And we didn't lose after that. So it's pretty remarkable. John, to come into that moment, you really learn a lot about a person, how he was unfazed. Coming into that game and how he played. The next weekend against Duluth, he got injured in a 4-1 game. We hold on to win 4-3 against Duluth. And then John, kind of miraculously comes back on Saturday and shuts them out. It was the first time, I think, all year that Max Plan had been held off the score sheet for a weekend. And, John was a big part of that as well. So probably early on, just seeing how he handled that. I mean, you saw how he handled the Jameson-Spence collision on Thursday night. He just kind of takes a minute and gets up, regroups, and goes back at it.
So you're going to keep him?
We're going to keep him.
Yeah, okay.
Fish.
Yeah.
We're going to keep him.
Right over here.
Nick Tremorelli, Let's Go DU.com. David, it's hard to ignore the parallels between this weekend and 2022. I mean, you have Michigan in overtime, and then, you play Mike Hastings as well. Was that something you could draw on, especially going into the third period? And just, can you also comment on just the general parallels there as well?
Draw on, not really. It was a similar message in the room between the second and third. Completely different group of players, but it's weird how it all kind of shook down the way that it did, between the two games. So I don't have much more to comment on it than that. We're just proud of our guys. Obviously, have a lot of respect for Mike and the run they went on, and couldn't be prouder of our team for sticking with it, and just the adversity we went through mid-year, and to come out of that, I think gave us belief in times of trouble that we were going to be able to find our way through on Thursday, and then certainly tonight. We could have thrown in the towel a long time ago, and the guys didn't. They committed to each other, and that's what champions are made of.
Okay, right here in front, Peter.
Avash Kalra, College Hockey News. David, congratulations, obviously. You mentioned earlier that you didn't really have to change things tactically too much in the third, but you made a couple personnel changes. For example, Lorenz and Harris switched for a little while. Was that something you saw leading into the third? Was it to spark the lines? Obviously, it led to the first goal.
Yeah, we talked about, truthfully, just throwing it all and jumbling it to a degree, but we wanted to give them kind of a chance. Yeah, we started the third. The message in the room was a lot of what we talked about. So to then just go jumble all the lines, we thought might give a sense of panic to the players. So we just stuck with the one change. It was a comfortable change because that was the line that scored against Michigan on Thursday night, the game tying goal. We put them together because of our 6-on-5 personnel. We needed a shift out of a group, and they went out and did a good job and played a lot in overtime together. So it made sense just to make that change, and obviously it came through again for us, and we didn't make any other changes beyond that. Some deep pairing switches. I know, 5 and 9 went together a little bit more, and certainly that was, I thought arguably Garrett Brown's best game of his career. For us, I thought he was excellent for us all night long. One of the few guys really consistently moving his feet and wanting the puck on his stick and wanting to try and make a difference and make plays. And again, not an easy team to do it against with their puck pressure game.
Okay, right over here.
Nick Allen, DU Clarion. Obviously, last May you were coming off what was a tough loss in the Frozen Four. You had interest from multiple NHL programs, and you made the decision to stay in Denver and extend your contract. How is that decision resonating with you now?
I haven't thought about it since I did it. To be honest, we tell our players to be 2 feet in where they're at, and I think we have to do the same thing as the adults in the room. And having had the interest is flattering, and learned a lot and built different relationships we have over the last number of years, and I think that's a good thing for our program to do that. And again, once the decision was made, it was 100% focus on what we wanted to try and do here, and the excitement around the freshman group that we had, and the team coming back, and had a chip on our shoulder, from day one, and continued to work and grow throughout the year. So couldn't be happier and more proud of the group for how the season culminated.
Okay, Adam.
Adam Morton, College Hockey News.
Can we admit now that Eric was a little hurt in the last few weeks? Just can you talk about how maybe he was a little limited and how that the other guys stepped up in that situation? You have a Hobie finalist who's maybe can't do everything he's used to be able to do, and just also how it affects his psyche and still have a positive contribution and not let it get to his head.
Yeah, it's not easy. He's dealing with, a hand injury, he's dealing with a foot injury, but you're right. I mean, other people stepped up in a big time way as they have throughout the year for us. I mean, we were not immune to injury throughout the year, and for Eric to be, like the guy said, to be able to battle through, and for other people to step up. I mean, Brown was out for a little while. I mean, we played 5D for I think 2 or 3 weekends. That was kind of around the time period that Eric got hurt. His minutes were elevated, and he laid everything on the line for his team and his teammates. And Eric's a real emotional guy. He loves his team, but he's very competitive as well. And he would have loved to have won that award yesterday, but I think he's happy for Max, obviously, and can recognize the season that he had. But again, for Eric to do what he did, again, we didn't have a guy with more than 40 points on our team. Eric led our team in scoring. I'll say it again, if a team's led by a defenseman, it's a lot easier to game plan to take away a D than it is a dynamic forward, who has a lot of supporting cast around him. So, Eric, we really challenged him too in the second half to try and understand that, there's certain parts of his game that will get him places in his career, but there's other parts of his game that need to develop and grow for him to stay in places he would like to be in. That would be obviously the National Hockey League with San Jose. So he's got some real great qualities offensively, his shot and things he can do, but the growth in his defensive play throughout the second half and down the stretch, that showed us that he's going to have the ability to stay in the NHL, which is, it's not easy to make it to the NHL, but it sure is a hell of a lot harder to stay in the NHL than to make it there.
Okay, John.
Thanks, John Doyle, USCHO.com. Congratulations, Coach. Well, I can certainly respect, when you say that you did not let any NHL offers or rumors distract your focus from what you're doing here at Denver University. I can't imagine that, part of that decision, though, is because of your special connection to this university, which obviously runs deeper than just a routine employee-employer relationship. Can you talk about, what this school means to you and the opportunity to win national championships here as coach?
Yeah, it's a really special place to be and to live and work. I think my story is very well documented, what the university means to me, and I think what I mean to the university. I hope they're in the back there. So,
that's for you, Josh.
It's more for Jeremy.
Oh.
But it's a total team effort, and that's what I love about our institution. We talked about it a bit on Wednesday. And I know a lot's being made of like haves and have-nots coming into college athletics and college hockey, but I mean, to me, we're the thing that everybody wants. You want a smaller school who doesn't have this behemoth budget and fan base and alumni base to still be able to be successful. I think we are the proof of concept that it's still possible. And yes, do we have advantages over other places? I'm not sitting up here crying poor that we don't have things, but we are a small institution. We are very committed, though, to our hockey program and making it a great experience for our student athletes, our fans, and our alumni. And so you don't have to be big in hockey to be good. You have to invest, and you have to care and have the right people to do great things. And so, I think it's in a sport landscape in college athletics, I think a place like Denver should really be celebrated.
3 national championships and 2 gold medals. You ever feel like you're living in a fantasy world?
Are you asking questions now, Fish?
No. Somebody else want to ask that? No, I'm kidding.
No, I mean, I'm very blessed in my life to have what I have and be a part of great teams. And, be around people like Fish for USA and John Van Beesbrook and Jeremy and Josh, and John Miller and Mr. Ritchie is smiling from above as we lost him last year. But again, you want to be around really good people, and I've been really fortunate in my life, from our staff and again the people that support in so many different areas. These things don't just happen. It's not me. It's not one of the players. It's the total collective that makes these things achievable. And I'm super grateful and blessed to have the opportunities I've had in my life.
Okay, right here at the end.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations. Alexis
you.
Bass here, CBS Las Vegas. At what point of the season do you reflect on what you've built? You compete in the toughest college hockey league in the country, and you continue to do what you do here at the national level. I think you've won 6 straight in every single title game that you've been in. Does it feel any different every single time that you pick up a title?
Yeah, I mean, every season is very unique and different, and this team was certainly different than the ones I've been a part of since 2017. And but there are similarities as well, and the guys hit on a lot of it. I mean, you could can that answer and watch this press conference from 17, 22, 24, and 26, and you hear the same things about culture and team first and selflessness and all of that. So there's a lot of similarities, but how we kind of get to that end result has been very different. Again, I'm also not naive enough to think that in this tournament and single elimination, you need some really good things to go your way. Like, you have to control what you can and what is in your control, but there's a lot that's out of your control as well that needs to go your way. And certainly that's been the experience here, World Juniors as well. There's these events that are one and done. They can go so many different ways. And again, just feel really proud and blessed to have been a part of it. Now our conference, again, I think it's Heather, 8 out of 10. Yeah. Is that what it is? And again, I would just harken back to my last answer. The NCHC, it's a single sport conference. It is no schools of big time football. Do we love our hockey programs? Yes, absolutely. But we invest. We have great leadership from our commissioner down. And it just, again, I think we're seeing it. Money doesn't buy everything, and bigness doesn't win championships all the time, at least in our sport. And maybe that's changing. Everybody seems to think it is or could or will. I will tell you, we will do our damnedest in our conference and at Denver to make sure it doesn't happen that way. But, we're really proud to represent the NCHC, the best league in college hockey. If you're a kid who wants to win and develop, we think it's the best place to be.
All right, terrific. David, congratulations. Thanks much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Fish. Thanks, everybody. Have a great summer.